Sometimes a story comes along that truly stops you in your tracks. It makes you pause, reflect, and reconsider the world around you. These stories remind us of the fragility of life and the extraordinary impact one person can have on so many others. This is one of those stories, a story that lingers in your mind long after you first hear it, and leaves you changed in ways both subtle and profound. This is the story of Roderick Macleod, a Grammy-nominated musician, beloved teacher, and pillar of the Rhode Island community. Rory was more than just a performer. He was a force of nature, a creative spirit whose passion for music was matched only by his generosity of heart. His music brought joy to countless people, but it was his kindness and mentorship that truly defined him. Students, friends, and fellow musicians all remember Rory, not just for his talent, but for the way he made everyone feel seen, heard, and valued. On December 6, 2025, at 70 years old, Rory's life was cut short in a tragic accident. The news sent shockwaves through the community, leaving many struggling to comprehend the sudden loss of someone so vibrant and full of life. What began as a routine morning walk turned into a moment of unimaginable loss. In an instant, a beloved friend, mentor, and artist was gone, leaving behind memories and music that now feel even more precious. For those who knew him, this isn't just a headline, it's a profound void. The ache of his absence is felt in every rehearsal room, every classroom, and every quiet moment when his laughter used to echo. Rory was a cornerstone of American roots music, celebrated for his talent and humility. He inspired generations of musicians, not just with his skill, but with his unwavering belief in the power of music to bring people together. As we explore his life and the tragedy that took him, let's remember the man behind the music, a mentor, a friend, and a legend whose final note came far too soon. His story is one of passion, resilience, and the enduring bonds of community. Join us as we honor Roderick Macleod, a true artist whose legacy will echo for years to come. Through his music, his teaching, and the lives he touched, Rory's spirit lives on, reminding us all of the beauty and meaning one life can bring to the world. Roderick Macleod's journey began with the deep hum of a string bass, a sound that would become the heartbeat of his life. From his earliest days, music was more than a passion, it was a calling that shaped his every step and decision. In the vibrant music scene of the 1980s, Rory emerged as a key member of Roomful of Blues. With his steady bass lines and infectious energy, he helped propel the band to new heights, earning a Grammy nomination and national acclaim. Their performances were electric, and Rory's presence on stage was magnetic, drawing audiences into the soulful rhythms of American blues. Yet, for all his success as a performer, Rory's greatest impact was as a mentor and educator. At Brown University, he dedicated himself to teaching and preserving the rich traditions of American Southern Appalachian music. He inspired students to listen deeply, to feel the music in their bones, and to honor the roots of every note they played. Alongside his wife, Sandal Ostrowski, Rory co-led the old-time string band program. Together they created a vibrant community where music was passed down not just through sheet music, but by ear and by heart. Their workshops and rehearsals became a haven for students eager to learn the art of playing together, improvising, and keeping tradition alive. In recognition of his lifelong dedication, Rory was inducted into the Rhode Island Music Hall of Fame. This honor celebrated not only his artistry and musicianship, but also his generosity of spirit and his unwavering commitment to nurturing others. Friends and fellow musicians remember Rory for his versatility, his reliability, and his gentle, encouraging spirit. Whether backstage or in the classroom, he was always ready with a kind word, a helping hand, or a story that brought people together. These qualities made him beloved both on and off the stage. Rory was a bridge between generations, connecting young musicians with the wisdom of the past. He carried the torch of tradition, inspiring countless students to find their own voices while honoring those who came before them. For Rory, music was never just a job. It was a lifelong mission to connect people, to share stories, and to celebrate the power of history and community through song. His teaching extended far beyond technique. He taught the importance of listening, empathy, and collaboration. Today, his legacy lives on in the students he mentored, the colleagues he inspired, and the community he built. Each performance, each gathering, is a tribute to the values he embodied and the traditions he cherished. Roderick Macleod's melody continues to echo, carried forward by those he inspired, reminding us all that music, at its heart, is about connection, legacy, and the joy of sharing something timeless. December 6, 2025, began like any other Saturday in Hopkinton, Rhode Island. At 7:20 a.m., Roderick Macleod was out walking his dog. A peaceful routine shattered in an instant. A car veered off Spring Street, careening into two telephone poles before striking Rory. The serene morning was broken by chaos and tragedy. Emergency responders rushed him to Rhode Island Hospital, but his injuries were too severe. Rory's life, so full of music and kindness, ended suddenly and senselessly. In a poignant detail, his dog survived and returned home alone, a silent messenger of the tragedy. For his family, that moment marked the first sign of unimaginable loss. A cherished routine was destroyed, leaving a community in mourning. The heart of Rhode Island's music scene was silenced in a single, devastating moment. Let's look closer at what happened that morning. A morning that began like any other on Spring Street. The sun was just beginning to rise, casting a gentle glow over the quiet neighborhood. People were starting their routines, unaware that tragedy was about to strike. The car, driven by 41-year-old Shannon Godbout, suddenly veered off the road. Witnesses later described the moment as shocking and surreal. The vehicle swerved onto the shoulder, directly into the path where Rory was walking, just steps from safety. In a matter of seconds, the car struck not one, but two telephone poles, splintering the wood and sending debris flying. The force of the impact made it clear that the driver had lost all control, turning a peaceful morning into chaos. Police arrived swiftly, finding Godbout still at the scene. Their initial investigation quickly revealed that this was no ordinary accident. The officers began piecing together the events, searching for answers as to how such a devastating crash could have happened. As they searched the vehicle, officers allegedly uncovered a significant quantity of illegal narcotics, along with packaging materials suggesting possible distribution. This discovery shifted the focus of the investigation dramatically. What began as a tragic accident now appeared to be a serious criminal case. Investigators began to consider whether impairment or drug activity played a role, raising even more questions about the circumstances leading up to the crash. The investigation is ongoing. Police are meticulously reconstructing the accident, analyzing every detail, and waiting for toxicology results that could provide crucial answers. Forensic teams are working to understand exactly what happened in those critical moments. For Rory's family and the entire community, each new detail is a fresh wound. The pain of loss is compounded by the uncertainty and the knowledge that this tragedy might have been prevented. This was not just an accident, it was a preventable tragedy, one that has left a permanent mark on everyone who knew Rory and on the neighborhood itself. The loss is made even more painful by the circumstances, leaving friends, family, and neighbors searching for answers and struggling to come to terms with what happened. A beloved musician's life was ended by a chain of reckless decisions, leaving a void in the hearts of those who cherished him, and a community forever changed by that fateful morning. As the investigation unfolded, disturbing facts about Shannon Godbout emerged. She had been arrested over 100 times, with 82 court warrants and 40 traffic citations. 8 of those arrests were by Hopkinton Police, the very community where this tragedy occurred. Her record reveals a long pattern of dangerous behavior and disregard for public safety. How was someone with such a history still allowed to drive? This tragedy exposes gaps in the system meant to protect the public. Rory's death was not random. It was the result of years of unchecked recklessness. The community is left to grieve and demand accountability. In the aftermath, Shannon Godbout was taken into custody and charged with driving to endanger, resulting in death, a felony. She also faced charges for possession of Schedule I and II narcotics with intent to distribute, marking her third or more offense. The combination of fatal driving and drug charges paints a grim picture. The investigation is ongoing, with more charges possible pending toxicology results. For Rory's loved ones, the legal process is a painful but necessary step toward justice. No court can bring him back, but accountability matters. The community is left with haunting questions. Was she impaired? Why was she allowed to drive? These questions fuel a demand for answers and change. Justice for Rory is now in the hands of the courts. News of Rory's death sent shockwaves through the music world. Roomful of Blues, his former band, remembered him for his talent and gentle nature. Friends and musicians across Rhode Island and Connecticut shared stories of his reliability and quiet strength. At Brown University, students mourned the loss of a mentor who connected them to musical heritage. Rory's teaching by ear fostered community and deep listening. Tributes poured in, all echoing his kindness, artistry, and humility. His absence leaves a void in the regional music scene and in the hearts of those he inspired. Rory's life was a masterclass in humanity, a beautiful song that ended too soon. Rory's death is more than a personal loss. It's a tragedy that ripples through the entire community. One person's reckless decision set off a chain reaction that ended a life and shattered a sense of safety. Rory was doing everything right, yet he was not safe from the dangers posed by others. This story puts a face to the risks of unchecked criminal behavior and repeat offenders. Each prior arrest and citation represented a missed opportunity to prevent tragedy. The community is left to question whether our systems are strong enough to protect us. When tragedy strikes, it erodes trust and comfort in our neighborhoods. A morning walk or bike ride now feels less safe. The loss is not just one man's life, but a piece of the community's peace and innocence. Rory's story is a call to action for safer, more vigilant communities. As we mourn Roderick Macleod, we must also look forward. His legacy is one of music, mentorship, and kindness. Let's honor him by inspiring change. This tragedy must spark conversations about public safety and the dangers of repeat offenders. Community safety is a shared responsibility. Report dangerous driving, support effective policies, and demand accountability. Rory built community through music. Let's strengthen ours through vigilance and care. The outpouring of love ensures his spirit lives on in every note and lesson. Let's remember him for the beautiful way he lived, not the way he died. Carry his spirit, be kinder, listen more, and work for safer neighborhoods. In doing so, we create a lasting tribute to a life well lived. Roderick Macleod's legacy of harmony and humanity will play on for generations.